Hello, I just thought I would do a quick video. I'm actually doing it on my Mac because I'm enjoying using Zoom. It's pretty easy to do. Might bounce around a little bit because I've got the dogs on the bed and I'm on the bed in the new place. One of the things I wanted to discuss, which it just seemed to have a few conversations about this subject, is blessing your food. Okay. Blessing food and eating animal products. Okay. So I have been vegetarian. I've ate a lot of meat in my time before I went vegetarian. I've been vegan. I've been raw vegan for 12 months. And basically, I'm at a point now where I remember I was at like a convention and I met a guy who said he'd been like a nutritionalist and therefore, I think he said like 40 years or something. I said, sum it up in one sentence. Sum up your life's work in one sentence. He said, people don't listen to their body. He said, if you get acid reflux, that's your body speaking to you, telling you that that's no good. If you have a slump in energy, that's your body telling you after eating that meal is creating a slump in energy. If you feel good, you feel light, you feel satiated, you feel energized after a meal, that's a good sign. He said people think they have to eat certain foods at certain times, which I've done when I used to train and I was a lot bigger. I used to eat X amount of food, X amount of time. And it's such a backward way of thinking. So many people still do it. I used to actually think that whatever I ate before a workout was what my body would use. I used to think if I had like a protein shake and like a lot of calories before going to the gym, like I'm talking within an hour, that workout would be burning that fuel. That is not the case. Your body is trying to digest that food while it's trying to send blood to your arms and wherever you're training. That's backward. Okay. This is why so many people are getting so many benefits now from training with intermittent fasting. Some people are fasting for 48 to 72 hours, then going and training, and they're finding that their energy levels are literally through the roof. They're burning a lot of fat and they're getting a lot of results. Okay. So where am I now? Where I'm at now is I believe that one of the worst things we can do is attach to a label. So carrying an attachment to being vegetarian or a vegan, even if it's detrimental to your health, not because of the diet, but because you're too attached to the label, okay, the identity. If you've been a vegetarian or a vegan for 10 years, and even if you're struggling with that, it doesn't suit you. If you're thinking, if I have meat now, I've just threw away 10 years of being a vegetarian, that attachment is working against you. I think we're too attached to things now. I have shared this with a few people, and people just don't get this. Okay, some people just don't get this. Some people do get this. When it comes to eating meat, I don't eat a lot of meat. Okay, I eat meat if my body feels like it wants meat. Like I spoke to my friend who's a vegan, who's got a health stall in Nelson Bay. And I said to her, I always say, if I meet anybody who's a tradie, who's a coach, they've got a health shop, whatever, I always say, they've done something for years. I say, sum up your life's work in one sentence, or sum up, in this case, I said, what is the most important thing that you recommend people should have in this shop? She said, if you're a vegan, vitamin B12. She said, because the damage from being deficient in vitamin B12, she said, is irreversible. I'm not necessarily saying I believe that, because I think the body follows the mind. When you look at the placebo effect, the body creates the chemistry the mind believes in, right? So I think you could definitely. I don't believe in anything that people tell me. I think everything and anything is possible. But I've got a lot of respect for this woman, a lot of love. And she said that. But what was fascinating about her saying that was, I always take a step back and look at nature. Okay. If vitamin B12 is so important, where it has irreversible side effects if you're deficient in it for a period of time, and vegans can't get it it's not available in a lot of things, they need to supplement it. I think that something's out of balance there with nature. We must have ate some animal products, whether it was roadkill, whether they were killed ethically or whatever. And I'm not attaching to it. I'm just looking at it from a logical perspective. And I might be wrong. Might be people who watch this and say I'm completely wrong. And I'm not advocating eating meat. I don't care what you do. I've got a lot of respect for people who are vegan for the right reasons. Okay. Who are not attached. The best vegans are the ones that are not attached to being vegan. They just do what they do. They don't talk about it. Because I tell you, if you understand the field, if you understand that we're always contributing energy to the field, our thoughts influence the field and our emotions and our feelings, then you'd realize that if you're an angry vegan, you're creating more suffering than if you were to consciously and lovingly eat meat. And I'm going to show you how to bless your food, or I'm going to share how I bless my food in a minute, and why we can save our food. Okay. So I just looking, going back to that, I think there's something doesn't make sense there with you have to supplement vitamin B12. I'm going to go into samsara. Okay, so samsara is a Buddhist term. They use it in Hinduism as well. It's the karmic cycle. Okay, birth, old age, sickness, death, come back, create more karma, whatever. If you look at the world today, this is what people don't understand about my outlook on meat. I am completely against factory farming. Okay, I think it's barbaric. I think it's horrendous. I think the karma involved in that industry, you can ingest that for sure. Not only ingest it, but you can take on the suffering to some degree if you're just eating it, if you're not eating consciously. This is why I'd rather promote conscious eating than a specific label like vegetarian and veganism or raw food or whatever it is. So if you look, let's say there's a slaughterhouse and the people who work in the slaughterhouse are suffering so much, and I've met people who work in slaughterhouses, and it says it messes with your brain after a while, just killing animals all day. So I have compassion for them as well. You're seeing animals being treated terribly, which is terrible. They're sentient beings. If the animal soul that is conscious in the body, when the body of the animal is killed, if that soul, which is conscious, leaves the body, it's still conscious when it leaves the body. If that soul thinks that it's been treated wrong and it can't forgive some of the terrible things that people have done who work in the slaughterhouse, right? There's a real heavy karma there. Now, the suffering that the cow may have gone through may make it be born in like a hell realm. So it's like it's spiraling downward. Okay, it's caught in trauma. There's spiritual karma, spiritual debt to be paid by the people who work in the slaughterhouse, especially if there's no love there. There's no complete desensitization to these animals. And they may come back and experience what it's like to be a cow or an animal born in a slaughterhouse. And then they get caught in a samsaric cycle, okay? And even when, the cows may even come back and experience harming the cows, reverse, a flip, okay, in roles. And while there's no forgiveness there, the karma is accumulating. And I think this is important, and I think it's a dangerous cycle spiritually, okay? And I think we need to remove ourselves from that. But where does blessing your food come in? If I was on a desert island, and people always say I don't eat meat because I don't need to, but if I was on a desert island or I was on my own and I was starving and there was an animal there, I'd kill it. For me, that's still the wrong way around. If I was on a desert island and I was surrounded by animals and there was no food for me to eat, I would rather die than kill an animal. I'm not going to take a life to feed my life. Okay, that's a spiritual reason for that. If an animal dies and none of the other animals are eating it and it's there, then I think the life's presented me with something to eat. I might cook it and eat it, okay? But I would never kill someone to feed myself. But if you walk past a butcher or an organic farmer or something, even if it's just meat that's been in a factory farming, which I don't agree with, that soul is already dead, okay? Now, if you look at it from a perspective of, I am going to bless the soul of this food, this is how I bless my food. So once the food's in front of me, it doesn't matter whether it's meat or whether it's vegetables or whether it's fruit, you trace the origin of it. Okay, this is the teaching of emptiness and interdependence. Find its origin. And you can see what it's been through. You can see the suffering of it dying, the person who killed it, their parents, their mindset, everyone involved in this food being on your plate. Okay, ask for forgiveness. Please forgive me if any souls have suffered for this food to be here. My teacher's teacher said that offering your food to your spiritual fathers and mothers is more important than meditation. So reflect on that. So then I say, dear my shifus, my spiritual fathers and mothers, whether it's Jesus, Mary, Buddha, anyone, Krishna, whatever, please eat first. Okay, it's a courtesy thing. So you're gonna wait, and you're gonna offer your food to the soul world. Please, as appropriate, please bless the soul of this food. Any virtue, because look, there's people in the world who are starving. If we have a meal in front of us, there's a spiritual reason why we've got food in this life. Sorry, one of the dogs is here. There's virtue for us having that food. So I say, dear, any virtue that I have, good merit I have, because to have this nutritious dish in front of me, I share that merit and virtue with all sentient beings. Okay, with wanling means all souls. You're making your meal a service. Now, when you offer food to a Buddha, you get a lot of virtue for that. Okay, you offer it to your spiritual fathers and mothers. I say, any virtue for offering this to the spiritual fathers and mothers, I share with any of my ancestors in the lower realms. Okay, now I'm not going to make this story, this video shorter. I'm not going to share a story, but there's some great stories in the Buddhist text that emphasize the importance of doing that. And then I'll say any soul interconnected with this meal, those that were caught in the samsaric cycle at work in the slaughterhouses that deliver the meat, that blah, 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 or the food, the water that's grown, the vegetable, and all the rest of it. Everything that's interconnected in this meal. Please turn on your love, peace, harmony, spiritual treasures, and I sing for them. And give all my love and appreciation, and I'll sing, I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity, join hearts and souls together, love, peace, and harmony. love, peace, and harmony. Or I'll chant the Dabejo. Namo hola dano dalaya namo wali abolojidis of the laya buddhis and the boyamos of the boyamo janalija. Okay, 87 Buddhas of the Dabejo. I'll chant a mantra. I'll see light nourishing the meal and all connected to the meal. This practice before I eat, this practice will change the information of the food, change the message and the energy of the food, change the benefit, the nutritional value of the food. Any souls that are suffering interconnected in that food, this could literally pull them out of samsara. Okay, this is the magnitude of it. And this is how we can save, excuse me, this is how we can save our food. So rather than thinking, I would never do that, which is a noble thing to do, I do get it. But if you're and I tell you why, I don't eat a lot of meat, okay? I'm trying not to eat too much meat. But for example, with what I was suffering with migraines, bone broth has definitely been beneficial to me for healing my gut. And the reason is L-glutamine. I used to take L-glutamine years ago. L-arginine. These things are good for your gut, but I've bought L-glutamine and it's a powder. And I just can't see how L-glutamine is going to heal the gut as a powder. But if you have it when it's bioavailable, like in a bone broth, you've got L-glutamine, glycine, L-arginine, you've got collagen. These are very good for the gut lining, especially if you have them on an empty stomach. They help heal the gut wall and they help build a healthy mucous membrane and also help promote good bacteria in your gut. So then as well, there's an exchange. You're grateful that anything involved in that is actually saving you. You're not taking from the world. There's an exchange there. I'm very grateful. This is saving my life, which means I can be of more service. And in exchange, I will include you in my meditations. If I do an invocation, I call all beings. I call any souls that have interconnected at any food I've ever ate. Okay, there's a countless number of souls. I invite them to chant with me or meditate with me. Okay, so we can really save by blessing our food. We can really help the souls of our food. And yeah, just thought I'd make that. So a lot of people, where a lot of people misunderstand that is they say, because a lot of people as well in the world now are saying, I would never eat factory farm, which I appreciate. So if I'm going to eat meat, I'm going to kill it. Okay. And I'm not saying they're right, wrong, good or bad. I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong. I'm just saying people are saying they're not going to eat factory farm meat, or they're not going to eat meat in general unless they've killed it, because it's a spiritual experience. So they're going to go out and they're going to kill something for them to eat. And a lot of people find logic in that. It makes sense. And that's totally fine if you do. I'm not saying you're right, wrong. But to me, if there's already a life that's dead already, and I can ingest it to try and strengthen or save me in any way, I would rather do that and save a soul that's suffering than go out and take a life for my health. I would never do that. I would never take a life. I would rather die than kill something else for me. So again, yeah, this might sound completely backward to somebody else, but I just wanted to share that because it's come up a few times in conversations lately. And I do agree with what Tom Barnett says as well. Tom Barnett says some people are so attached to the labels and what their diet is that he said in the olden days, like the Spartans and things like this, their mission, okay, their mission in life should be first, and what they eat should be way back. They don't talk about it. But what they eat is purely to support their mission in life. Right now, everyone's got no mission. They're just telling everyone what they eat, and it's an attachment thing. It's an ego thing. It's a label thing. It's like a badge of honor is what they eat. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that. If it works, use it. If it doesn't, just drop it. I love you all. Take care.